Hey guys, just a quick little vlog here. I talked about developers imposter syndrome in I think it was the last video, but I forgot to give you some of my tips on how to beat it. So I'm just going to really go over things quickly here. So let's start with some key facts just in case you missed that video. Number one, the know-it-all unicorn developer does not exist. Number two, professional development is about learning on a need to nerd basis. You know your basics, you know your fundamentals, you jump into it, bing, bang, boom, you learn whatever you need to learn afterwards as projects come in, as jobs come in. Number three, Google, Stack Overflow, and a good IDE. IDE is Integrated Development Environment, which is a tool to help you write code. They're your friends. They'll make it easier for you. So if you forget something, you forget some syntax, you forget the properties of a particular library or a class, whatever, you just use Google Stack Overflow or the IDE will tell you what to do. So don't worry about it. Again, once you have your foundations, you can just jump from technology to technology, language to language, framework to framework. It's not a big deal. So how can you overcome DIS, developer imposter syndrome? Well, number one, remember the 3 points I just mentioned above. I think it's self-evident. Number two, just dive into projects and write simple, easy to understand, fine-grained code. I mentioned that in the last video. And number three, you might want to specialize in a niche, a type of programming or an area of programming, a niche of programming that makes you money in your part of the world. So it could be you become a machine learning guy. You write really great machine learning code. Or maybe you're the e-commerce specialist. You're the go-to person for small business to set up e-commerce. You might set it up with a from scratch Stripe-based or PayPal-based shopping cart system, an e-commerce tool that you build. It could be that you use Shopify. It could be that you use WooCommerce. I'm not saying you should, but I'm just saying it could be all these different options. You could be the go-to freelance developer who knows how to set up somebody's e-commerce. Maybe they need to set up their own merchant accounts. You can instruct them how to do that, the step-by-step to work with the banks, etc., etc., etc. So that's just one example of a specialization, a niche that you can get into. You can maybe get into, you become a WordPress professional. It's not so much developer, but a WordPress professional, understands how to install WordPress, configure it, understands the architecture or the environment around WordPress, so you know what plugins are good, what are bad, what are good, what are the good themes, what are the bad ones, etc., etc., etc. So it's a couple of options. By becoming specialized in a particular niche, that will help sway some of that developer's imposter syndrome because you'll be a master of a particular thing. So there you go. Those are my 3 tips how to overcome DIS. Short vlog. That's why I'm using the old GoPro here. All right, I gotta go. Lunchtime.